medium. It's all focused on this shit right here.
Cool.
Which is going back to the thing. I think it's kind of actually, you know what? That's one that I didn't write down, but it's here and I'm looking at it. So you guys came out with a VHS tape.
Yeah.
What's your reasoning behind that? What made you guys want to do a VHS tape?
My reason is because I born in the 80s, so all I remember watching the coolest movies was in VHS, right?
Yeah.
So like, I just wanted to have my own VHS. You know what I mean? I know it's music, and it's like all our music videos. There's our album, but with music videos or visual, so it can be like the visual album instead of a vinyl and a VHS. You can hear, you don't want to see it, you can still hear it, but it's cool. You can see like the cool visual.
Yeah.
You know?
'Cause I always like doing this publication or whatever. I just felt like I'm born in the 80s as well, and my when I was coming up, I felt like everything that I consumed had a lot more value when I like owned it.
Yes, that's so true.
You know?
Yeah.
Like I can't sit through an album now.
Yeah. Well,
even a band I like. I mean, I'll try.
Yeah. Unless you have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was telling you about the cassettes.
Yeah.
Like now that I have a cassette, I'm like, okay, I have to get up to stop it. You know what I mean? Like I can't just on my phone.
So you're going to sit there, you're going to let it play because it's a little bit of a pain in the ass, and then you might hear a song you didn't like. And I don't know. I just felt like that adds a lot of whatever. So I thought it was super cool. I was not expecting that you guys were going to have that VHS, but like how do you guys feel about streaming and everything? Like how do you feel about streaming and social media?
It's kind of, it's a new animal.
Yeah.
You know, like before, I'm sure you could put flyers out. You could, I mean, of course, play shows. And now social media is like, you have to think about the content you're putting. I don't know. It's weird. Like, we want people to be able to hear our music for what it's about. But also, the way that people are going to hear it is if you put yourself out there.
Yeah.
And if you don't, like, I'm sorry, but it's hard for people to find it out. You know what I mean?
It's very compromising.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I interviewed a band a while ago, some band from California, and they're called Samodiva or something. I don't know. But the singer, she's like a pretty girl, right? Whatever. They're really good band, legit. I'm not, she's pretty. I was whatever. They're really legit. I caught them, like, I was kind of pressure. Oh, you should interview these guys. They were so, okay, yeah, let's do it. And, we did it, and they were really cool. And I remember, like, in my brain, because I was like, hey, can you guys take a picture with the magazine? And I was like, Sam, can you stand out front? Because it's going to be better for the algorithm. Like,
that's crazy.
It's weird because it's like a compromise. Like, it's not even something, like, I would have thought about or anybody. It's just, like, weird how it kind of infects everything.
Yeah.
It's like even what you're doing in the real world, kind of, if that makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah, but also too, like back then, if you would print flyers, you would have to make it look like appealing, like something like crazy, but like just I don't know.
It was the same thing, but there was always like it could be crazy on your own terms versus like maybe crazy on what's Instagram or TikTok gonna pick up and actually push.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if I make a post, man, I can tell right before, like right off the bat, whether it's going to get a ton of views before I even put it up.
Dang.
And it's like messed up to even think in those terms, but it's like a big compromise.
That's how the water runs now.
Yeah.
You just gotta be able to.
You just gotta be with it.
How did you hear from us online, right?
Of course.
You know what I mean? And it was probably from one of our promotional videos. I'm just kidding.
It was.
You know what I mean?
No, I know. And I'm not. It's not bad. And it can be an art form in its own right.
Yeah.
It is just a little. I don't know. It bothers. It doesn't bother me. I guess it's just being like an old man. I'm not saying it like it's this is whatever, but it's it is weird how it kind of infects everything.
Yeah. Or I 100% wish it was like how it was before.
Yeah.
Like I wish that, and it's like probably never gonna be like that again.
No.
That's why we're doing VHS. We're doing cassettes.
Yeah, we're putting the VHS.
Oh shit! Sorry.
You're good. Don't
worry.
We're
doing vinyl. Yeah. So. Like that's why you're. Oh, sorry. That's why your magazine is cool, because like that shit is gonna be there forever.
Well, that's just the thing. Yeah, it's like a lot of the. Do you guys care if I smoke?
No.
Okay, it's a lot of the. The thing I don't like about the online community and everything is like things aren't going to like stick around so much. So it's like, you got people getting thousands and thousands of streams, and they might be changing the world. And if Spotify takes their song off and they never focused on distributing their music physically, that can fizzle out altogether. Mm-hmm. And whatever they were saying or whatever they were doing is invalid now. Mm-hmm. So when you put the stuff out there, I mean, you look at bands from the 80s and the 90s and stuff, it's like they changed the world in their own ways, and it was, they never had any kind of streaming. But it's just an interesting thing. Mm-hmm. Either way, I just thought about it because of the VHS, which I think is super cool, and I actually have a VHS player, so I'm excited to go home with it. How do you guys end up getting together, and when?
I actually met Dave. I was a fan of his music beforehand, and I went to one of his shows. That's how I met him, and then we ended up getting married, and then we made our own little music.
Yeah, we just started having fun, getting together, and it's, let's do this for real. And
Okay, I was going to ask if you guys were married in a different question. I was talking about the band, but that's
it was like a 2-in-1.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. So you guys were you were dating, whatever, you had your relationship, you just decided you wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And do you have any previous experience with music, or?
I don't really. I mean, I did like college for a while for music, but I dropped out. But that was my experience. Dave has done other stuff.
Yeah, I worked in other bands before, and I've always been interested in music since I was a little kid. Yeah. I started playing drums in punk bands at 15 years old in Tijuana, punk, metal, indie, everything. Everything that I can get my hands on, so I can have more experience in life, especially in music.
Yeah. So we're covering we're jumping questions, because some of my key ones. So okay.
That's good.
No, it's working. It's working though. It's all going to work for the content of the magazine as far as All right. So you were in Prayers before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fine. I'm not going to talk too much about that, but that was one of the projects because I wanted to ask because I know Prayers was an electronic band and this is another electronic band. Mm-hmm. But I was going to ask you about did you have any influences from the punk or the metal scene or anything? Because based off your music, which I've listened to, you have a lot of almost punk hardcore sounding songs.
Yeah.
And obviously your look is very metal.
Yeah.
So what's your background in those genres?
Well, to me, it's what I grew up with, playing that style of music. But after going to shows, I used to go to this club called Porky's in Tijuana, where they play only new wave, dark wave, and electronic stuff. So all the electronic stuff that I love, I learned it from there.
Yeah.
So I went play hardcore punk metal shows and then go dance to the dark new wave, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was the mix for me. Later in the future, I started the other bands, and I can't hide the influence that makes me who I am, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like with that Blue Monday double kick, I wouldn't be doing this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's it, you know? That's the only reason I started using the MPC 5000 and then create those sounds, you know?
So you started off as a analog musician.
Yeah.
Right? And do you still play any regular instruments? Obviously you probably could.
Drum.
I'm just wondering if you ever do.
Drums mostly.
Drums are your big thing?
Yeah. All I do is because of drums. Everything that is electronic or MIDI or anything is related to me on drums. All I care is about drums. The melodies is just to fill it in. You know what I mean? It's more like the feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To me, when I started doing music, it's like, why do the electronic bands always have a drum machine? I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna play the drums, and the melodies are gonna be my drum machine. You know what I mean?
That's sick.
So that's why my music that I created sound the way it sounds, because I don't have a drum machine. I play those drums on top of my melodies. You know what I mean?
And how was the scene in Tijuana when you were coming up?
Cool. It's still cool. It's still killing it. It's always been fun since I remember, since I started playing drums to now, that I see friends keep playing shows, it looks wonderful. Like, I really proud that I born and raised in Tijuana, that I was able to come from Tijuana and learn everything I know because I was from there.
Just from the scene that you grew up in?
Yeah, pretty much.
Being
If
exposed to
it
everything?
wasn't me going to play those metal punk hardcore shows and then going to the 80s club,
Yeah.
I wouldn't make this music. You know what I mean?
And you're doing great.
And it's like, that was awesome.
Thank
right?
you.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. When you guys decided to start the band, what was the MO? How is this different from other projects you've had in the past? What did you want to... I'm imagining at some point you guys were sitting around talking, and you said, "Oh, we should play some music." So what was the genesis of that?
I think, well, we started with one song, and we're like, fuck it, let's put this song out. Mm-hmm. And then we did like 2 other albums that we were just like putting it out at random times. And then with My OTU, this was the first time that we're like, let's fucking tour with this shit. That was the first time.
Yeah,
and that was
pretty
last
much,
year.
Because before we just make music to create. We still do.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, oh, we're gonna make vinyl, we're gonna make tapes, we're gonna make this. Mm-hmm. It's more like, just let's create.
Yeah, let's just
but
have
now
fun with it.
we make My Ode to You, and then hands on. We haven't stopped since August.
Yeah.
So it's not even a year yet, and it's been pretty good.
Well, because I was looking it up, and I think I first discovered you guys probably beginning of 2024 is probably the first time I ever heard you guys.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And then when I actually went and like started looking into music, I noticed that there was a lot of stuff going all the way back to like 2020.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the stuff that we put out, and we just, I mean, we played shows here and there,
Yeah.
but we didn't say like, we're going to do a full tour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or-
This one, we're like, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Let's just run it.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened, and then we were living in LA. We moved here, and then we opened our coffee shop, Velorio, and then we spent there like a year. It was just focusing about the coffee. It was a beautiful experience, but then like, oh, let's keep doing music.
Yeah.
We stopped the coffee shop for a little bit. Now we're just
Yeah.
worry about this new album.
Chill.
Yeah.
And you're from Phoenix.
Yeah.
And you're from Tijuana,
Yeah,
obviously.
born
We
and
just
raised,
talked about that. So, but you guys are based out of Phoenix now?
Yeah.
And how do you feel about life in Tijuana versus Cali versus Phoenix?
It's
Not
all-
asking you to be like, oh, you know,
It's
one
all
place.
related. I feel like me as a Spanish speaker,
Yeah.
once I started talking to anybody in Spanish or the raza, I feel at home. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
of course, it's not the same as Tijuana, but
Yeah.
I feel welcome. You know what I mean?
The general culture and
The
everything.
general culture. I feel like, yeah, it all interconnects, especially for all the subcultures. I feel like it doesn't matter where you go, they're all kind of in the same type of vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, since you started the band, how has the reception been? Because obviously, I know you guys have been getting a little bit of traction and everything like that. Have you been enjoying it? Have people been like taking well to it, or anybody who's followed you previously or anything? Has it been like? Do you feel like you've been getting a lot of love?
Yeah,
It's been good.
it's been really good since the beginning. It's been all love, but now I feel it's more love because they see like we're really on it.
Yeah.
Before it was like, oh, they don't know what's gonna happen, and
Yeah.
we didn't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
We're just making music out of love. That's why it's
Yeah.
Meldemor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like a mix about like let's create it, let's do something that we want. Me and the first albums that we were doing, I wasn't really trying to do the sound unknown for.
Yeah.
And then this album, like, well, this is who I am. I cannot hide who I am, so I'm just gonna put my sound because it's my sound. You know?
That's what I noticed because I kind of went on like a. Well, I've been listening to you guys, but I was kind of just listening to like a handful of songs, and then I went on like a rabbit hole like all day. I've been listening. I've been going back, and I noticed a lot of the earlier stuff. Like you had some stuff with like guitars and double bass and stuff like that, and then some of the newer stuff is a little more EDM. Well, not EDM, but a little more new wavy.
Yeah.
But and that makes perfect sense. But it's cool though, man. I mean, everything you're doing. What about your visual aesthetic? And you were saying it's like how you grew up, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I mean, I just kind of been vibing it, dude. I watch you guys' videos and like busting out like swords and shit, playing drums with the guns. It's like all the lo-fi filters and everything. Like, was that like? I wouldn't call it disingenuous if it was a gimmick, but is that like, was that like a decision, or is that just kind of like what you're trying to just kind of come in natural?
No, it's just natural. I feel like that's the character. I always, at least us or me, I feel like I always been related to the 80s culture for all the looks. You can go from like super Miami Vice style to like all the glam rock to the metal to the punk, you know what I mean? Like I feel for Mel the same too. Like I feel like this is who we really are. Outside of this, we still this person, you know what I mean?
Yeah. When you're doing like well, I was actually curious. So other than the other band you're known for, what other projects have you been a part of as far as like coming up? Because you said you grew up playing in the Tijuana scene and everything like that.
Yeah, so...
And then I was going to ask you as well, but you said you went to music school for a little while.
Yeah, for classical guitar. I failed, though.
No, you didn't.
I did.
Hey, how's your fucking teacher feel now?
He don't give a fuck about me.
Of course he doesn't. He's not listening, but guess what, dude?
Yeah, I tried.
A lot more people are a fan of you than a fan of him, so whatever.
Hey, who knows? I'm just kidding. No,
How about that, though?
That's funny.
Yeah.
Were you in any punk and metal bands when you were coming up?
Yeah, in Tijuana, yeah.
Yeah.
So my first band that was punk, it's called Adictos al Maíz. So in English it's like corn addicts because we practice. So my family have a tortilleria and a corn warehouse. So we practice on the corn warehouse. And they were like, we're corn addicts, you know what I mean? So we were like, that's the name for it, Adictos al Maíz. And from there, I went to have another metal band called The Sacrifice Theory. And after that, my brother and I, Jose Cruz started a DJ group called Latin Lovers. And from there, like more DJ stuff.
And that's when you transitioned into like the electronic stuff?
Yeah, because pretty much from there, everything went to where it is now, you know what I mean?
So have you worked as a producer for other people?
Yeah, I ghost produce sometimes for people, but mostly just friends.
Yeah.
If I like it, I'm not really interested in
like working as like an outside agent.
I'm really like territorial with my music.
Yeah.
Especially for past experience, so I just wanna keep my music. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, and I mean when I say that is because like, I mean I guess if you wanted to get technical, and this is in no way, shape, or form a jab, like you would be considered in this band like essentially a producer, right? Like because like you're obviously you're on stage, you're playing, so it's not like you're not a musician, but you're kind of like producing the songs in a sense. And I was just that's what I was saying, like
producing, but he also plays the drums.
Yeah.
So,
no, it's a full experience. That's not what I mean at all. Like it's not trying to diminish anything. I was just wondering if other artists have ever hit you up, like, would you do a song for me, kind of thing?
Yes, but I probably sometimes like pass. It all depends, you know what I mean? But mostly I just like...
stick to yourself.
Yeah, I like just to, for me. I don't like to water down the thing, you know what I mean?
What are some of your guys, respectively, what are some of your big influences? So who are your top 3 favorite bands?
Iron Maiden. That was my first concert. I like Detente. It's like a old thrash band. And Hellion.
Hellion?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know who Detente is, but I've heard of the
They're
other.
so good.
I'm looking up.
Listen to the album Recognize No Authority. So good.
Detente, Recognize No Authority.
Yeah.
I gotta put it in the thing.
Yeah.
How about you, sir?
To me, I feel like Limbris is one of my favorite bands.
Who?
Limbris, as a Martin
Limbris?
con los Crudos.
I love them, dude.
So, that, like, of course, Minor Threat. And if you want to go to, like, the electronic, new age stuff, of course, New Order, you know?
I'm gonna see if they'll let us keep the door closed for 5 more minutes. I know that guy. He's cool, man. He used to let me drink Four Locos in the parking lot.
Oh wow. Damn, are Four Locos still alive?
Well, I mean, not the good ones.
That's my logo.
Man.
Not the good ones. Yeah, not the good ones, man. So you were saying Minor Threat, Limp Wrist, and New Order are your 3 biggest influences, probably?
Yeah, like, of course it's more like metal stuff, with like Darktron and like Mayhem, like a lot of good black metal bands.
Yeah.
But I feel like, to me, like Minor Threat, like if I was sad as a kid, just walking around with my headphones, listening to like, I don't want to hear it. You know what I mean?
I always got like, first of all, listening to your guys' music, there's definitely like an element of drive to it.
Yeah.
So I could tell, like, it's kind of like, it's like the influences aren't super apparent.
I forgot to say Dio. I don't know how. Oh, and Alice.
Yeah.
Did I say Alice Cooper?
Yeah, you guys look like Dio.
I love Alice Cooper. Oh my god.
I love Judas Priest too. So
yeah.
You know when someone asks you a question, that's like the question that depends on your life, because you're like pulling out. Oh my god, I love Dio. Judas Priest.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, they're all that whole old school metal vibe is so it's such a vibe, dude. It's such a vibe.
It's very. It's like makes you feel like fuck yeah.
And then even though they were like at odds with each other at the time, I feel like the old school metal vibe like heavily influenced like the punk vibe. Even though they were like diametrically opposed, it's like all the battle vest and everything. It's like that was all fucking metal shit beforehand. So it's pretty cool. As far as Jesus, right. Alright, we're getting there. So you guys started just for fun.
Yeah.
Basically. You guys are living together, whatever. You were like, alright, we should play some music. And obviously I'm assuming you guys met under the guy like that you guys had a mutual appreciation for certain things. You love new wave, but you got a lot of punk and metal influences.
Yeah.
And that comes through in your sound for sure.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I've noticed, you know, I always grew up, I've always liked all kinds of music. You know, I like metal, I like dance music, I like punk music. And I've always found like the line between like punk and like different types of dance music is like kind of not as severe as people would like lead you to believe.
Yeah.
Because I feel like punk's got more in common with like disco than it does with like, you know, progressive metal for sure.
Yeah.
That's why Blondie got in between. And I rather like dancing with punk. You know?
Yeah. It's all about getting that beat going, making people move and everything. Have you had any crazy stories since you guys started going on tour and everything?
Crazy stories. We took our dog on tour with us to Texas.
Okay.
And so we played San Antonio, which shout out to those guys, they're awesome. But like our dog was in the hotel and we thought she was going to be great. And when we came back, she pooped all over the place.
Destroyed the whole room.
Yeah, and we're like, fuck.
You guys checked out early?
Yeah,
we're out
like,
of here.
Yeah, we clean as well.
Yeah, she was cute.
She's a puppy though.
Yeah,
She's cute.
What kind of dog you got?
She's a rescue. We think she's a Cane Corso.
Cane Corso.
But yeah, I saw a lady dumping her in the alley, and I told Dave, we gotta rescue this dog.
She's gonna get huge.
She's gonna, she's.
How old is she now?
We found out, we took her to the vet, and she was like 6 months, and she was like 60 pounds. So, yeah.
So now she's like 7 months. 7 months and a half.
So now we have 3 dogs, little angels.
So, what's your favorite show that you've played since you guys got together doing this band?
So many good ones.
Honestly, my favorite vibe was Dallas.
In Dallas?
Yeah, it was in like an art gallery, one of our friends' art gallery, like print shop, and just the vibe was like
super DIY, super fun.
It was so
me
good.
Like growing up in TJ.
Growing up,
super
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that was my favorite vibe because it was different.
Yeah.
And
what's on Mi Barrio?
Mi Barrio 214. Yeah.
Mi Barrio 214 was the venue?
Yeah.
I'll make sure to mention it. Because I want to make sure people hear about, I'm trying to do like organic hashtags. So I want people to know the albums. I want people to know the venues. Everything.
Yeah.
So I got 2 questions related to your previous band. which I don't want to like go too deep in, but one of them has been drilling me forever, and the other one I just decided. Why did are you associated with prayers anymore?
No, I created prayers, but that's it. You know?
You just quit?
Yeah, I'm just going something else. I didn't like what I was in the time. You know?
Yeah. Because I was of the impression that was like a 2-man thing, almost similar to like what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
And now it seems more like a, I'm prayers type of.
And that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
At the end of the night, people know what it is. You know?
Yeah.
I know what it is.
Yeah. And I'm not really interested in any kind of drama anyway, but the question leading up, and this is something that I just wanted to ask. It's been on my mind because it's from like personal experience. So I'm from New York originally, right? I started going to like hardcore shows in New York.
Oh, yeah.
And, the scene out there was like mostly white, but there were a lot of like Puerto Rican kids, and there were some black kids that were into it. And then when I moved to Tucson when I was a teenager, I was like obsessed with suicidal tendencies, and there were a lot of Latino kids that were.
All I wanted was a Pepsi.
Yeah, there were a lot of Latino kids that were into that scene and like whatever. I've always grown up playing music with them and stuff. I was in bands too, and I used to sell bootleg T-shirts at the swap meet, and I noticed there was like a lot of Mexicans would come and buy like, oh, let me get that Cure shirt, let me get that Smith shirt, let me get this, and I guess on the punk side of it, it wasn't that much of a surprise. Yeah. But then on with all that like alternative like kind of goth music, it was a little weird. And just as a white dude, this is like kind of a weird question, but it's like I felt like the general consensus, and I knew it to be false because I was coming through it, but I felt like it was always like, oh, Latinos, they like rap and oldies. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Vice dropped a documentary on prayers, and now alternative music is almost like synonymous with Chicano culture. And I feel like that had a lot to do with you guys, and getting that publicity. And my thinking, I guess it's coming off more like a statement, but I was just curious if that sounds, and obviously to you it would sound stupid, and even to me it sounds stupid because we all grew up seeing this alternative stuff, but I'm just thinking like the general zeitgeist. Because nowadays, like, it seems like it's not even a little bit of a taboo. Do you think that's a valid observation?
I think so. To me, in that time when the Vice team was recorded, well, we were prayers, but it became Cholo God because rap is Cholo, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he is God. Me, I come from the punk and metal, hardcore, new age stuff.
Yeah.
But without the mix of the music and his side, will be prayers. But because we were recording and where he's from, it has to be more like, how can I say, like express it to that, you know what I mean? So I think that helped for the whole masses of the subculture to be where it is. So I think that's valid. I cannot take credit. I can only take credit for it because
you were just doing what you do.
Yeah.
And I just see, because there's a lot of really great artists, Chicano kids and stuff that are coming up, and I know for a fact that they're heavily influenced by you guys. Yeah. I just felt like that documentary that dropped.
I mean, like, to me, I feel like it's wonderful that people do what they like to do, and they're happy and successful, and that's awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I like to see people winning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, too, I like to also think and say, like I was and am a huge fan of like Dave's work with prayers, and I always think like why just choose to like one band? Why can't you like everything? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's awesome. Oh, you like prayer stuff? Cool. Oh, you like Meldemor? Cool. Oh, you like anything? I think like that's what music's about,
No, and it's not even, it's literally not about like anybody versus anybody. It was just to me, like, as a somewhat outside observer, like I knew, I mean, I was the only white dude in my scene when we were playing punk in like 2007. So like I knew that wasn't the case, but I felt like the general perception was like Hispanic people don't mess with this type of stuff.
Yeah.
In America, obviously, people there didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
But
especially me coming from
Tijuana, you coming from where you're at.
Like all I grew up listening is like how can I say, like Jose Fro Jimenez is one of my biggest influence artists from Mexico. Like, there's nothing bigger for me from Mexico. You know what I mean? I love Jose Fro Jimenez, but that's in my house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In my family. But if I go outside with my friends, I like to go to the punk shows.
Yeah, everybody's doing their thing, rebelling and everything.
Yeah.
That was just a thing that I felt. I saw it, and I thought having the opportunity to speak to you guys was like it was a thing I'd like to get, maybe some form of confirmation on, because there is no question that you were heavily influential with all that. And I think it's cool now because people are feeling like less inclined. I feel like kids are more inclined to express themselves, at least like stateside from like communities like that.
And
you see them splitting off a lot.
Yeah, we're like we're huge on like, if you're like from Latino backgrounds, we're like, hell yeah, go, because it's time to like change that also, you know?
Yeah. Or any background, you know, as long as you're happy and
everybody should be doing what they do. Yeah.
I love being Mexican. I love that all the Spanish speaking people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, I feel like we all, at the end of the night, we all have one language, and it's love, and we want to express the love into music or hate. You know what I mean?
And what releases have you come out with as of now, and what are you planning on dropping in the future?
We just released our collab with Dark Cheeseman.
Okay.
Shout out to them. They're awesome. Seattle, and we're working on an EP that's gonna be more hyper focused on Dave, like singing, not singing, but like, doing his thing.
Yeah. We just dropped 2 new songs too, In My Heart and Complete Control. But that's gonna be part of the full-length album, Complete Control. But in between that, we're gonna drop a new EP in May.
Okay.
So we're like, we have a lot of things going on. I mean, like now that we're in it, like we have so much.
Yeah.
That's cool though. We like to stay busy.
Yeah. And are you planning on like trying to? Is this like staying? Well, you kind of explained this to me already. And I think this will be. Well, I'll have 2 questions actually. So, obviously, you guys decided to start going on tour and pushing it. Mm-hmm. Are you trying to take it to the moon, or are you just doing? Are you just enjoying the touring life?
To the sun.
To the sun?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's even farther. And brighter.
It's going to go to the light. Yeah.
I think it will. I think you guys are fucking sick.
We're having fun, we're enjoying, and it's beautiful as a husband and wife to have fun and do art and like enjoy ourselves.
Yeah.
Why can you don't be in the road with your best friend? And I'm enjoying being in the road and do everything I love to do with my best friend, and this is my wife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which is inspirational, man.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I always appreciate anybody doing their own thing and fucking making their way with it. And it's like, that's kind of what we're trying to like almost encourage in a little bit of a way, man. There's so many different ways you could go about things. It's like, why not do something you don't hate or that you like? And, capitalize off of it. So, this whole alternative culture, everything, we've talked about, I'll be honest with you, like, I always had the vibe that you came from a little bit of, like, a heavier background, and obviously with your aesthetic, I was like, well, they clearly like metal a lot, which is awesome, and I fucking appreciate it, and it's really cool. But, what does all this mean to you? What is the hardcore or the punk or the underground? What is the whole alternative scene? What in your brain? How would you define it, and what does it mean to you? Why are you so passionate about it? Because you're clearly passionate about it.
I think it's to just have something to put our emotions on.
Yeah.
It's like people go to the gym to exercise. I don't know. We make music to exercise our brains.
Yeah. Get all the bad shit out.
Yeah.
That's what exercising is.
Yes,
Just express yourself, be yourself, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not afraid to be myself in any situation.
Yeah.
I can be here dressing the same way, or in a coffee shop, and like at the border, you know what I mean? Like anywhere, at the airplane.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't matter, just gonna be myself, and if I can express myself, so what's the whole point to be somebody else that I'm not?
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Actually, I'm gonna plug in one last question. What are your guys like lyrics about? What do you like to write about lyrically? Just whatever you're feeling.
Honestly, it like the first two albums were like during rough times, and then now it's like also rough times. So I just I don't know, depression. You know, that shit's real.
Whatever
but
you're
also
going through.
happiness. Yeah, it or sometimes the things that you're grateful for. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, shit. Hey, I'm super honored. Like, honestly, big fan.
Thank you.
Big fan. I'm really
Thank
thankful
you.
that you guys did this with me. And
We're excited, bro.
Thank you for inviting us to do this.
no, hey.
This was fun.
Yeah, I mean, you guys need more press. Dude.
Hell yeah. This is so cool what you're doing too.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
That's sick.
And yeah, we could call it there. Here, I got some magazines for you. You gave me.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Would you care about taking a picture holding them?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Totally.
Stay by the light,
Yeah,
right?
sure. I'm gonna end this thing.
Big smile.
Mutilation.
Oh wait, we should open. Oh wait, no, we're holding the magazine.